Imagine waking up every night with the feeling that something is moving through your house, something that knows every corner better than you do. Now imagine not being able to run, not being able to stand up, and worse, not being able to feel if something is touching you. This is not a story about monsters. It's about being trapped inside your own body, while something else slowly learns how you live. If you think you truly know your own home, you might not be so sure after this story. A skiing accident robbed me of my senses from the waist down, and I honestly feel pretty stupid about it. While some are born like this or become ill, I had a little too much fun, and I was careless enough to lose what others pray every day for. That happened around 9 years ago. Since then, the desperation and mourning of my loss of mobility has toned down. You never really get over it. You just learn to live your life around this awful feeling. The same way you just walk through the living room around a giant boulder you can't move, always in the corner of your eye. But you just accept that this is how it's going to be. The worst part used to be that I would always discover new things I lost. At first, you'd say that being a paraplegic means you can't walk or dance. But as months, years go by, you discover dozens of tiny losses and realize you basically miss out on a whole other life. After a while, I covered enough of those with my therapist, so now I'd say I'm doing okay mentally. I hated depending on anyone and felt humiliated if someone tried to bathe me or help me on the toilet. But thank God for modern technology. Luckily, my parents were able to pump some large sums of money to make my home accessible. I don't have an upper floor, just an attic I practically never go into, and a basement where I do my laundry and keep other junk. In the past month, something strange has infiltrated my mental well-being. I never thought of the creepy aspect of being disabled. You know how you used to be afraid of sleeping with your legs uncovered, or dangling out the bed, thinking that something might grab them in the dark? Well, in my case, sometimes I wonder if it did, and I just didn't feel it. If something brushed past them, and I didn't know. I expressed that to one of my friends, and she laughed and said, "Yeah, what if some maniac licks your feet in the middle of the night and you can't feel that? They might start to think you liked it." She was obviously of great help, but my concern was also kind of ridiculous to start with. Right? Over the past months, I've also become a bit worried about my physical well-being. What if I'm becoming weaker? How will my life look like in 10 years, when I've noticed that at the great age of 27, I get more tired of moving from my bed to my wheelchair every day? Seriously. You know how I get up in the morning? My bed tilts up, and I lift myself into the wheelchair. As it happens with paraplegics, my hands have become stronger, and that isn't very hard to do. Or at least, it used to be easy. I started struggling to get out of bed in the morning, as if that wasn't supposed to be the easiest thing to do. My confidence has seriously taken a great hit when I realized that, but a few weeks ago, I got up half an hour after going to bed, and it was as easy as I remembered, which got me thinking. So I started paying attention to the position of my wheelchair in the morning, and noticed that it was slightly further away from the bed. Not enough so that I would notice, but enough to make me struggle. Was I pushing it away in my sleep? No, it's pretty stable. I joked to myself that someone was moving it away to fuck with me. That joke was so funny that it stayed on my mind the whole day. The other weird thing happened while I was showering. I heard a noise in the hallway, and I spent the remaining time of my bath desperately trying to make sense of it. I was already in the middle of washing myself when it happened. and it's not like I can just dash out of the shower and throw a towel on to check it out. So I left the bathroom after I had finished and found nothing out of place. I didn't feel any relief though. Yesterday, my housekeeper came over. She went into the attic to take out the cleaning supplies, and then came down completely silent and wouldn't talk to me the whole day. I asked her what was wrong, and she just gave me a passive-aggressive answer among the lines of, "I know you can't make my job easier, but I would appreciate if you didn't just drop all your junk into the attic." I found that funny. Since the attic doesn't have an IPL, we thought it would be too expensive to install one, so the only person that goes up is her. The only way for me to go up there would be if I hand climbed the stairs, and I'm not a fan of that. She's always complaining though, so I didn't take her too seriously. She gets annoyed at me for being disabled, as if that's my fault. That's the two things people feel towards you: pity and annoyance when you're in their way. I just let her be. She left without saying goodbye, so I figured she was just having one of her tantrums. I still don't know what kind of mess annoyed her so much in the attic. I genuinely feel like I might be going insane. Today, I woke up with my socks off, and I know I had them on when I went to sleep. I feel the blood howling in my ears from the tension, and the dizziness of being afraid overtook me completely. I'm still trying to remember the fact that I took them off, but I can't. I'm more than certain I didn't. As certain as I am of the noise in my house. As certain as I am of the fact that I never heard my housekeeper leave yesterday.